Hello and welcome to Home with the Hudsons. Today I'm going to be going over how I made these felt figures to aid in the storytelling of our curriculum and how I prepared our spaces for homeschool lessons to begin this year. I am a first-time homeschool mom. This is the first year that I'm really doing anything intentional with homeschooling. This is preschool, so it's still not very rigorous. My son is only 3, so a lot of our schooling is more play-based, but I think he's capable of some formal learning too, so I wanted to add that in there to help him learn at his pace. I'm using a mixture of curriculums. The things I'm cutting out here are from Treehouse Schoolhouse, and I got some fun things from her. Hey! You did do it! You did it mostly. Okay. Hold on. Let me move it to where it needs to be. And push and woo! Oh my gosh, that was beautiful.
I can't. Go, go, go.
Go, go, go.
Go, go, go.
Go, go, go.
Go, go, go. Go, go, go. Go, 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 go.
The other curriculum that I'm using is from the Wonder Garden curriculum, and that is very play-based. There's not a whole lot of formal learning in that preschool curriculum. It follows the seasons and these little gnome characters in the made-up Garden of Wonder Garden, and their lives. And it's a really nice story and a nice way to introduce children to rhythms and the seasons and how things change throughout the year without it being too rigorous. And I've been really enjoying that part too. I will have the links to both of those curriculum websites down below, so you will be able to find them and look for yourself if you're interested in those kind of preschool curriculums or not. There's also some other just random things that I'm doing with him, like going to the library every week and picking out books that fit the theme for the week in our curriculum, but also just books that he's interested in. For example, he really loves bugs, so he will pick out books on bugs or gemstones and rocks, just trying to foster his creativity and whatever he likes to learn. And I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible. I know I talked about buying certain curriculums, but you can also find free things online, especially for just learning the alphabet and numbers, and the library is also free. There's plenty of stuff you can do very simply, especially at this preschool stage. So now I will go over how I made the felt friends to follow along with our curriculum. And of course, I made these felt friends to follow the Wonder Garden curriculum we're using because these characters are in the stories every week, and I thought that would be helpful. But you don't have to make these felt figures. You can make whatever felt figures work for your kiddo. You can make just a genre of felt figures like farm animals, or you can follow a book that they really like the Winnie the Pooh series or the Curious George series, whatever works for your kiddo. Here I'm just drawing the shape of the character and then cutting it out with the felt. Since my son was awake during this part of the day, he was able to help me. He's been practicing using scissors, so he enjoyed being able to help me with this part of the process. In the case of these particular characters, they do wear clothing that I wanted to be able to take on and off. so that my son can practice his own storytelling and dressing the characters and have fun with all of the moving pieces of the characters. So here I am making the vest for this character named Hamilton Squirrel, and he has a cane and a hat as well. And so I cut the vest out after I drew it, made sure it fit him, and there you have it. You just simply place it on top of the felt figure, and now he's wearing clothes. Now, in the case of some of the pieces, they were really small, so I wanted to glue them together so that they wouldn't get lost in the shuffle of putting them on the storyboard and putting them back into the little box that we keep them in. I just wanted to make sure that everything could be found easily. So some of the bigger pieces and accessories are not glued onto the character, but I did glue things like belts and hats onto the character just so that they wouldn't get lost. And that's it. That is all that goes into making these characters. You draw it, you cut it out, you draw and cut out any accessories you want, hot glue it together if you want to, and then you just put them on your storyboard. And in my case, I didn't have a storyboard, but I do have this whiteboard that is double-sided. So I kept one side the whiteboard, and one side I put my extra felt on and just made a storyboard. I just used double-sided tape to make sure the felt stays on the board, and we just bring it out every time we read the stories and put the characters on there. My son is definitely more engaged in the stories since making these because he gets to take out the characters and play with them while I am telling the story, which is the point of these stories. They're meant to be interactive, and I'm glad that he gets to play with the characters and feel like he's part of the story too with these felt friends. And now I am just putting all of the homeschool materials together. I printed everything out. I got just the digital copies of everything from Treehouse Schoolhouse. And then for the Wonder Garden, I do have the actual books because I feel like it's easier to tell the stories that way. But there are just digital copies of that too. I put everything in a binder in these sheet protectors. That way I can just take out whatever letter or number we're working on that day, and he can use a dry erase marker to practice writing that letter and number. And I don't have to really mess with a whole lot. Just take out a whole sheet protector and he can practice the number 2. I also laminated some things like the emotion things and the alphabet cards. And here I am just putting everything together in our little homeschool section on the bookshelf. I have a little place for everything, the arts and crafts, the books, the binders with our alphabet sheets in them. Everything has its little place. I really wasn't sure how I was going to organize everything at first, but I think it turned out well. Everything has its place, and my son knows where everything is when he wants to work on something too. It's just made homeschool really easy to just have everything on these couple of shelves. Thank you for stopping by Home with the Hudsons. I hope you've been encouraged that even if you don't have a bunch of fancy things, homeschool can still be very productive and fun. Join us next time as we find even more ways to make a house a home.